Hi there, it is Chef Carol, and today's lesson is all about the potato and learning how to cut potato. So before you start, if you're going to be using a potato from the garden today, I want to make sure that you have, first of all, washed your hands with soap and warm water, palms, backs of your hands, between your fingers, between your nails. Rinse in water, and really important to dry with a towel because otherwise, sorry, I had to reach for my towel. Our hands, when they're wet, they're slippery, and we don't want slippery hands, especially when we're using a tool like a knife. Secondly, is to make sure that you're wearing a closed toe shoes. So in case that knife or that big heavy potato falls on your feet, you don't hurt yourself. And super important that if you are going to be using our knife today, to make sure that you have your sous chef, who is your grown up at home or helper helping you. And I'm going to show you again the type of knife that I'd like you to use today. So it's just either just a plastic knife like this, or what we kind of call a bread and butter knife, just an ordinary dinner knife. The edges are not too sharp. Even if we touch them with our finger, we're not going to cut ourselves. I am going to show you the type of knife I do not want you to use yet is a chef's knife. We don't need that knife for cutting the potato. All right. So I'm going to take my potato. I'm going to show it to you. This is a really big potato that I have here. And if you look, and it's clean. Did I mention that? To make sure that you rinse your potato with water, not soap. Do you remember how when we used the stone in our stone soup, we did not use soap because it has pores in it, and we didn't want our soup to have a soapy stone, because then our soup would taste like soap. Same thing with a vegetable. I'm not going to use soap on it, but I am going to scrub it because potatoes, do you know where they're grown? In the soil, right down deep in the dirt. And so it's really important that we rinse them really well and scrub them with a brush, and again, dry it so it's not slippery. All right, but let's take a close look at the potato. And you take a close look at yours at home. Do you see these little tiny kind of little holes and indentations in it? Do you know what they're called? Well, it's like a dimple. So if you go like this with your cheek, stick your finger in. I just made a dimple in my skin. And potatoes have them too, but they have another name. Do you know what they're called? Sometimes in those dimples, you see little sprouts growing out. They're called eyes. Those are the eyes of the potato. And if you plant the potato with a sprouting eye, one potato will turn into, you'll grow 2 more potatoes. We'll learn a little bit more about that later in the lesson. So the first thing we're going to do is learn how to cut the potato in half. But before we do that, I want to show you how to hold the potato. So I'm going to put my potato down. My right hand is my hand that I draw with, okay, or write with. So whatever hand is your writing hand, that's the hand you're going to hold your knife with. I'm just going to hold it gripped like this. We'll learn more about the proper way to grip a knife, but for today, we're just going to hold it like this. We're not chopping. Chopping is when we go up and down. We're sawing back and forth. I'll show you sideways also. We're just going to use a sawing motion. And can you see how slowly Chef Carol's going? I'm not in a hurry. When we're in a hurry, that's when we sometimes cut ourselves or slip. I'm going to take my time. Now my other hand, my hand that I do not use to write, that's going to turn into a tiger claw. So take your other hand, make a claw, and go like that. Let's do that again. I'm going to use that claw to grip my potato. I'm going to grip it so tight that it can't drop. Then I'm going to take my sawing hand and I'm going to be sawing right next to my fingers. And you can see when my fingertips are deep in that vegetable, my knife can't touch them. It's just going against my knuckles. All right, next thing we need to do is we need to estimate where is half of the potato. So I'm going to go along, and at home, you can say to yourself where I should stop when I get to half. Here I go. Am I halfway through the potato? That's my puppy Tallulah barking. Nope, I went too far. Let's try it again. This is half of my potato. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut the potato in half. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen. And in case you don't have a potato, you also could use a big piece of Play-Doh. It doesn't matter what color it is, all right? I'm going to roll it up like this. I'm even going to put some dimples in it, like this. Hold on while I give my puppy a cookie, all right? I wish I could share with you, I could share with you my screen so you can see my puppy. Treats. Sometimes Chef Carol actually likes to make homemade treats. Maybe one day when we're in the food lab, in the nutrition lab, we'll make some puppy treats. All right. She thought that the lid to her treat cover was the treat, but we gave her a treat. Okay, so you can use a piece of Play-Doh, or you can take a piece of paper, which is what we're going to do right now. I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to talk about halves and quarters. So hold on just one second. All right, here's my piece of paper. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a potato on my piece of paper. Let's see if we can get the light better there. Hold on just one second. Just going to adjust this for you because it's a bit too dark. There we go. I'm going to draw a big potato on my piece of paper like this. I'm even going to draw those little dimples and eyes on it. So if you don't have a potato at home, you could go ahead and you could cut your potato out. And that way you could also do our lesson with learning about what a half is. And of course, I'm looking for my scissors, which have disappeared. Hold on just one second. Okay, we'll come back to that later. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my potato on my cutting board. I'm going to use my little plastic knife. This is not, my writing hand is holding my knife, and my other hand is going to grip and make that claw with the potato. I'm going to estimate where half is, which I think is about right here. And now I'm going to kind of start to saw back and forth, taking my time, even going to rotate it a little bit. Back and forth. Claw is gripping my potato really, really hard. Here I go, I'm gripping, taking my time until I've cut my potato all the way through. Let's see, I did it. My potato is cut in half. So now I'm going to do something really cool. I'm going to take each half and I'm going to cut it in half again. Once again, I'm just going to adjust this a little bit. I'm going to estimate where half is. This time, I'm not going to make it roly-poly. I'm going to stabilize my potato by putting it down flat. And now it's easier to cut and it's safer because it's stable. Stable meaning it's harder to move it. I'm still going to make my claw. I'm going to estimate where half is. And remember, I'm still sawing. Back and forth. It's a little deeper this time. Back and forth. This is a juicy potato. I can see the juices coming out of it. All right, I've got to do the same thing with my other half. I'm going to grip it, cut it, again, back and forth. I'm getting a little bit better at this. I'm actually going to switch to my bread and butter knife and see if that works a little bit better. It's a little longer, so it makes it a little easier. Gripping it hard. All right, I cut each half in half. Do you know what that's called? Now I've got quarters. Anyway, next thing I'm going to do is take each of my quarters and I'm going to cut them in half. And I want you to notice something. I took all my extra pieces and I moved them out of the way. That way I don't have anything in my way as I'm cutting. I'm going to estimate where half is again. I'm going to use my claw and I'm going to saw back and forth. I cut that one in half, estimate where half is, make my claw, cut that one in half. Estimate where half is, use my claw, and saw it back and forth. And one more. Estimate where half is, use my claw. So believe it or not, I'm going to cut those in half again later also. So that what I'll end up with are, let's count how many pieces we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now in my little fry pan here, this is something you can do later. It's really not part of our lesson, but I wanted to show you what you can do with the potato pieces. I added a little bit of olive oil. This was a gift from a friend, so I just added a little bit of olive oil. And then do you remember last week we added some spice? I'm gonna add a pinch of salt and a pinch of pepper. And later, my sous chef, who's my grown-up at home that's helping me, I'm gonna put that on my fry pan, and I'm gonna go ahead and fry them just until the white part of the potato is golden brown. And that's gonna be a delicious treat for me. All right, let me take that off my camera, and here I am again. So I'm gonna share with you guys now a video, and it's about some children. They're maybe your age. I think they're in England because from their accents when they talk, and they're gonna teach you how to grow your own potato plant. So hold on one second, let me share my screen again. Just one second. Oops, wrong one. Here we go. All right, and this is called, the video is about a girl named Alyssa and how to grow a potato. Here we go. It's about 4 minutes long.
Do you like vegetables, Kira? I sure do, Carl, especially roast vegetables. Well, today, Maddie is looking at one of my favorite vegetables, the potato. One of Maddie's friends grows lots of potatoes in her backyard, but she doesn't grow them in her garden, she grows them in her garbage bin. Sounds strange, but true. Here's Maddie. I spy my little eye something beginning with P. Potato patch. My friend Alicia and I love potatoes. We like mashed potatoes, potato chips, and potato soup. In fact, we can't get enough potatoes. I love them. So what better thing to do than grow your own potatoes? Take a look at Alicia's fantastic backyard. She's got a great veggie patch. And she's also got places where she grows her own potatoes. The potato is an amazing vegetable because you can grow lots of potatoes from just one potato. The potato has these dimples on them called eyes. And as the potato gets older, sprouts come out of the eyes, like this. And these sprouts are very important for growing potatoes. Alicia's dad is going to wheel our garden over. Potatoes love the dark, so you can grow them in bins. Our movable garden's in place, so it's time to start planting our potatoes. Alicia, because we're going to be digging in the soil, let's put on our gloves. Here's an amazing fact about potatoes. For every one potato that you plant, you get about 20 potatoes back. And if you cut the potatoes in half, you'll get twice as many. Potatoes love to grow in cold, damp soil, so this is perfect. The sprouts that we saw on the side of the potatoes will grow up and try to look for some sunlight. And there it is, our potato patch. How simple is that? Too easy, Maddie. Alicia's dad can now wheel this garden into place. After about 2 to 3 months, your potato should have grown and your bin should look like this. Alicia's dad is going to tip this bin over and then we're going to see how many potatoes have grown. I reckon there's lots of potatoes in this bin, Maddie. I reckon she's right. Look at that, you can already see the potatoes. And we haven't even started digging yet. You can see these little potatoes growing on the bottom of these plants. I'll grab this bucket and let's start collecting our potatoes. potatoes. 2, 3. What a great way to get messy. And look at all the potatoes we got out of the potato garden. We got a bucket full, Maddie. Aren't potatoes amazing? Come on, Alyssa, let's go wash our hands and the potatoes. Because they've grown underground, we need to wash all the dirt off them. We've done a great job collecting these potatoes, Alyssa. Let's see how many we've got. So out of our potato garden, we've got 40 potatoes. Wow, look at them all. And that probably started from 2 little potatoes. Let's go wash our hands.
All right, hold on just one second. All right, so from 1 potato, they got 20 potatoes. If they cut that 1 potato in half, they got 40 potatoes. So that's our lesson for today. I hope you enjoyed your lesson on potatoes. Normally when we start our class, we sing our special garden song, but why don't we sing it at the end today? So you can go ahead and snap your fingers. You can sing even at home if you're by yourself, you can still sing. I sing a lot when I'm by myself. Remember when I go like that, it means it's your turn to sing. So here we go. Everything we eat and everything that grows and everything we wear needs some, do you remember what every plant needs? Sun, soil, water, and air. Sun, soil, water, and air. Sun, soil, water, and air. All right. Goodbye, everybody. That's your class for today. And I will see you guys after spring break. Have a safe and healthy holiday. And I'll see you later. Bye-bye.